Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! Hello, I'm a lurker here. But since my relationship's anniversary is coming, I think I should share my encounter with an entitled person here, as it was when I realized my boyfriend was the one for me. I am doing this on mobile and English isn't my first language, so please forgive my mistakes. A preface. This story has me, 25-year-old female tiny Vietnamese girl living in the US since 9 years old, with an unusually shy yet cheerful personality who loves to read and is crazy for chocolate. There is also my brother, 20-year-old male, short, choppy Vietnamese guy with some mental issues, but extremely intelligent and truly the sweetest boy ever. He loves dinosaurs and idolizes my boyfriend. And there is my boyfriend, 29-year-old male, tall and muscular, long-haired and bearded Brazilian guy. Despite his permanent mean look, he's extremely kind, intelligent, engineer, and lovely. He loves my family as his own. Keep this last bit in mind, it's important. And of course, there is a Karen and her entitled kid. This story takes place during 2018's December, a week before Christmas. My boyfriend and I were visiting my parents for the holidays and we wanted to go shopping for gifts in a shopping mall nearby. We decided to take my brother as well since he was bored at home and I wanted to spend more time with him. At the shopping mall, I decided to put my grand plan on motion. My boyfriend always surprises me on Christmas, but it will be my turn that year. I usually never ask him for anything, but this time I decided to ask him for something. Babe, can you get me a chocolate milkshake please? I will wait in this library here with my brother. Okay, be right back. I picked this library for 3 reasons. His gift will be a book as he loves reading just as much as I do. It was far away from McDonald's where he would get my milkshake, and more importantly, they have books with dinosaurs models. My boyfriend noticed it and it became the perfect alibi since my brother was around. Now is when things started to go wrong. I took my brother to the place where they kept the dinosaurs books. It was way in the back and told him to pick a book and wait there. He picked even before I could stop talking. I left him there because the library was big and I had just a few minutes to buy my boyfriend's gift and hide it in my bag before he could see. I was maybe 10 minutes into my frenzied search for a book when I heard some loud voices from where I left my brother. And there I saw that monstrous Karen yelling and trying to wrestle the book my brother picked from him, while her spawn cheered from the sides and a couple of workers, 2 teenager girls, stood there stunned, not knowing what to do. I rush there and yell, "What are you doing?" "This freak doesn't want to give my baby the book, so I'm taking it." "Mommy, get me the T-Rex." I grabbed her fat arm, which was easily 5 times thicker than mine, and tried to pull her off him. "Leave him alone. He picked it up first." "Stop lying and don't touch me, witch." She then pushes me and faces my brother again. "Now you R-word son of a witch. Give me this book, now." She shoved me and I landed on my butt some 4 feet away from her, stunned. And this is when she started to push my brother really hard. On her 4th push though, my boyfriend came out of nowhere, tore that mastodon from my brother while pushing her and putting himself between my brother and her, who also fell on her butt. Now, I would like to say he's usually very calm, very quiet, a guy of very few words, and I only saw him angry once, but even then he never raised his voice. This time was different. His face was pure murderous anger, and he literally roared at the woman. "Don't you dare hurt my brother!" he shouted at her. I was shocked to see him like that, but Karen went from red to white and her kid went on mute. Another employee came dragging a security officer and Karen screamed she was assaulted. My boyfriend, again calm as if nothing happened but angry as hell, explained his side of the story. I explained what happened, the teenager employees did the same, and cameras were checked and the bruises on my poor brother were looked at. The police were called and everything got reviewed. Turns out this Karen already had her problems with the law, and the only reason why we didn't press charges is because we just wanted to finish shopping and go back home as soon as possible. She was arrested anyway, so why bother? In the end, my boyfriend had to go buy another milkshake for me since he dropped it when he rushed to aid my brother. I used the time to buy his book and my brother's with a huge discount. Later, when we were calmer, I started to analyze the whole situation and what he did. He looked scary, but the way he did that was so cool. He called my brother his brother and protected him so ferociously. It was like watching a lion protecting his band. My parents were so grateful they almost cried. If they liked him before, now they loved him to the point of calling him son. And my brother started to get along with him even better than before. You guys should see them playing Street Fighter together. It is so wholesome and funny. And me, well, let me say one thing. We are getting married as soon as this whole COVID thing is over. Oh yeah, and he was surprised with the book. Mission accomplished. Alright, let me paint a picture for you guys. I own a $300 track/remote control car and a $200 Happy Zone Aeroscat remote control plane. I always take these over to my local park because they have a soccer field perfect for flying the plane and a dirt bike park I can drive the car around on. Okay, now on to the story. About a month ago, I took my RC stuff over to the park and flew my plane around for a little while until the battery for it got low. As I was landing it, I saw this kid. He looks about 8 to 9 years old. I will call him Nice Kid because he tried to stop his mom, was genuinely kind to me, and later apologized for his mom's actions. He was obviously with his mom. We will call her Karen. She was approaching me from the playground area and I assumed they were just coming to compliment my plane because people come up to me about it all the time. I got the plane on the ground right as Karen started talking to me. She asked me what kind of plane it was, how much it cost, where I got it, and basically just seemed like someone wanting to know so that they could get one themselves. I answered all her questions and she took the Nice Kid back over to the playground. Since the battery was dead on my plane, I got my RC car from the trunk of my car. I walked over to the dirt bike park with it, which is by the playground, and I start driving it around and taking it off the jumps. When I see Karen glaring over at me while her son is playing on the monkey bars. After a little, Karen marches over towards me and demands I give her my car because, in her words, my precious angel wants it. I know this isn't true because a Nice Kid hasn't even looked over in my direction. I tell her that if she wants one for her son, I will be happy to airdrop her the link to the website where I got it. But apparently she wanted mine, which I had specially customized for my birthday. I told her that it cost me $300 to buy it and get it customized, and that I wouldn't just give it to her because her little darling wanted it. It was at this point that the Nice Kid saw his mom talking to me and came over. He asked his mom what was happening and she said, "Oh, hi sweetie. I didn't see you come over. I was just trying to get this nice boy to give you one of his RC cars." I said, "Okay lady, for one, this is my only car." I wasn't asking how many he had. She parked at me. Then the Nice Kid started telling his mom that, "I don't want his car though. That's his. You can just take me to the store to get one of my own, mommy." But then Karen shushed him and said, "Of course I can take you to get one, but this one is so much nicer. And this nice man said he would give this to you. Isn't that right?" She asked me. And this is not what I said at all, and so I told her to please take her son back over to the playground and leave me alone. This seemed to infuriate Karen and she snatched my car, grabbing the front bumper and saying, "You said we could have this. Now let my son play with it or I will call the cops on you for stealing my son's car." It was at this moment when I knew that I had made my first entitled parent encounter. I knew I had to get my car out of that witch's finger. So, I pulled the throttle back to full and she dropped the car onto the ground, snapping the bumper off in the process. She screamed at me for being a spoiled, ungrateful brat, breaking her son's new car, and almost breaking her leg. Yeah, if a 5-pound RC car hitting your leg from a few inches away can break it, you must have really thin bones. It was at this point I picked up my car and started to walk away. As I turned away from her, she grabbed my shoulder and yanked me back towards her. I yelled at her, "Ow! What are you doing, lady? Have you lost your mind?" Completely ignoring my questions, she asked me, "Where in the world were you going, you little brat?" "I'm taking me and my car back home and away from you." "Oh no, you're not. You're trying to steal my son's car. I am calling the police." At this point, I was actually relieved that she was calling the police. Little did Karen know, but I have a clear windshield on my car and always keep a GoPro recording from the inside of the car through the windshield whenever I am using the car in public. Once the police arrived, Karen told the cops that I was trying to steal her son's RC car. They asked her questions about the car like where did you get it, how much did it cost, what model is it, and of course she could answer none of these, and neither could the nice kid. The cops shook their heads in disbelief at Karen's stupidity, and they came to me asking what had happened. I told them about how she tried to take my car for her kid, and then showed the officers my footage. They watched the whole thing and just started to laugh at how dumb and entitled she was acting. They asked me if I wanted to press charges and it took me a few moments to decide, but yes, of course I did. She tried to steal my property, then broke the bumper, which cost about $30 to $40 to replace. Luckily, my warranty was still valid. And then manhandled me trying to get me to give my car over. The officers detained Karen and the nice kid's dad came to pick him up and to apologize for his ex-wife's behavior. Apparently, she had done insane, entitled stunts like this before, and that is why he got divorced from her. Later, in court, she got sentenced to 2 months in jail for destruction of property and attempted theft. She also got fined $200 about the cost of the non-customized car, which is rather ironic considering she could have just bought her own for the same amount. We also ended up suing Karen $1,000 for having broken my car and manhandling me too. The suit ended up going through for $800, and I'm rather happy with how it turned out. I ended up using the money to buy 2 new cars and a new plane. I also became good friends with the nice kid and gave him one of the new cars, plus an extra $50 to get some customization for his birthday. So this night, the entitled aunt from my previous story who broke my headphones supposedly bought a PS wallet card of $4,000 in my currency, which is a lot, and the moment she gave me that thing today, I knew something was up, and the whole thing went like this. I say, "I will go try and redeem this for a check." She answers, "Oh, don't worry, we just bought it. It should work fine." "Really? That's nice of you." My nice uncle says, "I really don't know why suddenly she changed her mood, but she went in the afternoon and bought you this, but it's good that she did." The nice cousin said, "Yeah, mom isn't that type of person." She kinda said that quietly, but I heard it and giggled. "Oh really? Then I can redeem it to confirm, right?" The nice uncle says, "Sure, we don't have a problem." The entitled aunt says, "It is no manners to check a gift right now. You can just check it when we go home." She panicked and said this, and that's the moment I knew something was up. I say, "Sorry, but I think it's perfect manners to check if something works fine or not." My nice uncle sighs and says, "You go and check. She won't interrupt." I opened my laptop and entered the Sony website, redeemed the code, then it was already used. Really? I should have known it was already used. "Check it in your PS4, maybe it's a system bug." The nice uncle says, "I am coming with you to check." So we went to our room to check the code and it was already used. Now my uncle got angry and we went to the living room. And guess what? She was not there. What happened? My cousin, holding her arm, says, "As you went into the room, she just went outside to take a taxi. I tried to stop her, but she scratched my arm." At this point, she was basically sobbing and loudly crying, not even able to speak. She spoke all that stuttering, so I wrote what I heard from her sobbing. Uncle says, I have to deal with this right now. I'm sorry that the card didn't work, but as I said, I will buy you new headphones as good as the old ones. I just said that it doesn't matter about the headphones, but I just don't want to meet her again. At this point, she had crossed her limit like really a big gift. She could have just never come instead of making me feel bad like hell. Now in the end, my mom bandaged my cousin's arm where she got hurt and uncle and cousin went home. I can't wait for the drama they will have at home. Oh boy, am I excited because when my uncle is angry, he cannot be stopped, especially when it comes to me or my cousin. Update. So this one is the continuation. After she left running, my cousin was bandaged and they went to their house. This evening means almost 4 hours ago. My uncle came to our house literally dragging my aunt and my cousin was already laughing with a huge bandage on her arms and I was too. Like literally my aunt looked like a little kid whining for something. Well, once he came to the house, the conversation went something like this. Uncle says, now if you do not apologize, I am done with this and I will file for a divorce. Aunt says, but he's the one who should apologize. Really? Like, are you out of your brain? My dad says, I am not going to deal with this. I am going to call the police if you break one more thing. But uncle says, and I won't stop him. He releases her of his tight grip and says, now just apologize and we can go home. I will buy him his stuff later tomorrow. And says, I won't apologize to a disrespectful brat like him. Cousin says, really, can't you just apologize? My cousin called her mom by her real name. How dare you call me by my real name? Well, if you're that dumb of a person, then I can call you with your real name. My cousin is a total sass for her age. Oh, then who raised you? Who gave you food? Who bought stuff for you? Well, Dad. At this point, me and my dad were laughing on the ground, like that was so good of a comeback. I say, now, if you're not going to apologize, I would like you to leave and never come back. Now, where I live, people get triggered easily and I think she did get triggered and she slapped me. Dad says, stop. I am calling the cops. What the mess, Mom? Cousin says. And Uncle adds, why did you slap him? What do you think you're doing? Now that slap was hard. My ears are ringing till now and that's why I wrote this 4 to 5 hours later. That hurts for God's sake. I literally shouted. You got what you deserved, little witch. Yes, little witch, she literally said that. Now we can hear sirens coming towards our house and everyone in the area out of their houses. Well, for short, the police came and asked what happened and everyone told the truth. The entitled aunt said that nothing happened here and they should deal with crimes, not family dramas. And after hearing the story, the police officer said, child abuse is a crime. Take her. Now at the end, my uncle said he will file a divorce with the entitled aunt and she is now at the police station for more interrogation and will be charged. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.